All right, folks, welcome back to a quick Bitcoin price action and price prediction video. This upswing in price is getting everybody excited. Have we finished our downward trend? And are we going to hit all-time highs again? What the deal is, let's take a few things into consideration. We were in a nice downtrend for quite some time, and this sudden pump up definitely liquidated a few shorts. So let's look at the trend line that we drew last time. And this trend line has been pretty consistent throughout this downtrend. So it acted as resistance a few times, and then it acted as support all throughout. Even this last bounce, it acted as support. Now, when it bounced off the last time, we were hoping that will be the low, but it was not. It came further down, and we're hoping now this will be the low. Can it go back down, touch this line again, and then bounce up? Possible. Before we go there, let's also consider the fact that we've been making lower highs and lower lows throughout this downtrend, because that's what a downtrend is. When we say we're in an uptrend, we have to make a higher high, which means we need to go somewhere here, make a higher high, which is around 47,000 or something like that, 46,000 to make a higher high. So as it stands now, we are in a downtrend. So betting against the downtrend would not be wise at this point. So let's zoom out. The price right now is at such a crucial point. Why? It was the same point that we were at in the beginning of 2021, and we kind of touched that level a few times. So this is an important level. And this bottom that we touched is basically this block right here, which is also an important level. It has to take a really bad news to pump down, break this, and go further down into some of the more dangerous zones like low 20s. But I don't think that's going to happen, at least not anytime soon, because of flow of money back into risk-on assets. Since Bitcoin is considered a high-risk tech stock type asset, it's following the NASDAQ. People are getting bullish back in tech stocks, and Bitcoin might actually benefit a little bit from that. Let's look at one other thing, the Fibonacci retracement. Okay, so if I take the fib from the high we had, the most recent all-time high, to our low, you can see how beautifully the price action falls in these segments. So we were kind of in this segment, then we played in this segment, and then in this segment. And look at where we stand right now. We're actually right at the 0.23 fib level. And the next fib level is the 0.3 fib level. Typically, Bitcoin tends to hit at least a 0.5 fib level if we are in an uptrend. So we might come up to 51K, at least for this relief rally that we're seeing right now. If this really is a relief rally, if we have to go back up there, we have to make a higher high, something higher than 45K. On our way back up, we are going to be stuck in these zones for some time before we can see all-time highs. Now, how do we know that? Let's clear all this. Let's go back. When in doubt, zoom out. And let's look at the Fibonacci retracement. The last time something like this happened, the last time this happened, at every fib level, we had some kind of resistance. There's this. There was some kind of reaction at the fib levels going back up the last time, and we should expect the same thing this time around. Let's also measure the last time how long we were in this period of doldrums. So if I take the measuring tool and go from this part of the chart down to this part, we were down 50%, and it was 72 days, 73 days in total. And if you look at what happened this time around, from the top to the bottom, exactly 50% again, and it was 76 days. So approximately the same time frame as the previous downtrend. And so that gives me some hope that we are in a cycle of upward trend at this point, just like we saw the previous time. Just keep that in mind, that this could be the bottom. Now, with that being said, famous last words. Every time the retail investors get bullish, the institutional investors are going to pump the price down to take out the stop losses, liquidate all of the retail traders. So there might be one more wick into this area, because everybody's going long, or at least might start going long, thinking that this is a strong area of resistance. There's a good chance that the market makers will wick down. If you look at the GBTC, the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust Premium, it's trading at a 27% discount. You would think that GBTC is a quick way for institutional investors who play in the stock market and the hedge funds to start getting into, so that they have exposure to Bitcoin and crypto. But that is not what's happening. It's trading at a 30% discount. That just tells us that the traditional folks that are playing in the stock market are just not interested at this point. So even if you look at the volume of Bitcoin, it is much lower than it was in the previous swing highs and downs. So there is a general anemic activity in the demand for Bitcoin. Let's look at the on-chain analysis. This again is from Glassnode. This is the number of transactions. This is how active the different wallets are. It's a 14-day moving average to kind of smooth out the choppiness. We are nowhere close to the number of transactions that took place during the beginning of last year, or even a little bit earlier this year, late last year. We are really low at this point compared to the other peaks that we have seen with Bitcoin trading. Again, it looks like we are just starting to turn back up, which will be great if the activity turns up. But again, just speaks to the lack of demand for Bitcoin at this point. Let's talk about the entity's net growth. This is how many people are coming into Bitcoin or creating new wallets on a daily basis. Again, this is a 30-day moving average to smooth out the choppiness. And this is the price line. And here at the bottom, you can see that the Bitcoin wallets, the folks, the users coming in, continues to increase. So there is really no outflow. There are more and more people coming in, and it seems to be in a general upswing, but it's not the kind of crazy FOMOing we saw in some of the earlier bull runs, like the 2017, which was abnormal, of course, but even early last year, we saw quite a spike of new people coming in. Hopefully when the demand increases, it's going to go up. So the demand is low again. But here's some good news. The balance on exchange, we talked about this last time. This is how much of Bitcoin is in exchanges versus in cold wallets or hot wallets owned by individuals. So the balance on exchanges continues to drop. Only 13.27% of total Bitcoin supply is in exchanges, which means when people want to buy, there's going to be a supply shock. Now, whales do tend to bring, like they did last time, they will bring back the Bitcoin to the exchanges when there is a lot of folks trying to buy around market peaks. They tend to do that, but during consolidation phases, they take it off of exchanges. So the supply is extremely low. It's just a matter of time before some kind of a macro event triggers a renewed interest in Bitcoin, and at that time, supply is going to be pretty low, and there will be a spike in price, increased demand, diminished supply. There will be an increase in price at that point, and it could go parabolic, but we have to contain our excitement and see what happens at that point. So with that, I'll let you guys go. Now it's the weekend. Have a great weekend. Nothing happens during the weekend, guys. So let's see next week how things pan out. Hopefully we continue this upward trend. All right, with that, have a great weekend. See you guys soon.